everyone, welcome to our podcast. I'm Hansel. I'm here with my best buddy Wayne. We run a company called the Coder School together and even wrote a book about it called theCoderBros Go to White Castle. And boy, have we had some fun adventures in the last 10 years getting to where we are today. Thinking back, it made us realize that, as the podcast title says, we are so Asian. So we thought it'd be cool to hear the adventures of other interesting and successful Asians out there too. So that's what this podcast is all about. Okay, enough of my rambling. Wayne, who is on our podcast today?
Our guest today literally saves lives. She's a graduate of UCLA and has her MD from Boston University School of Medicine. She's an ER doctor. We can't wait to hear all about the emergency room.
Yes.
So let's welcome Karen Fu.
What's up, Karen? And
What's up?
Wait, what is that sound effect that you're playing? I can't even hear it, Wayne.
ER. You got it?
That's ER?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I thought it was
It's
going to
kind
be
of an old show, but it
Oh.
does at least have the ER if you're like my age.
That's a little goofy. All right, well, Karen, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you coming on. So you are an ER doctor, which is insane. Actually, part of the reason why we asked you on is Wayne and I were like, I think we need someone like an ER doctor. That would be so cool.
Actually, we were. The coolest
here
professions that would be super interesting.
Have you guys been watching the Pitt? Is that why with the ER comeback? Is that why?
Have you seen that, Wayne? I have seen it. Have you seen it, Karen?
I haven't seen it, but it sounds like that would be a great name for what you guys are doing.
So what happens when the Pitt or ER or whatever those shows come out, Karen? Do you do you get sucked into them because it's your job?
So it kind of, I think there's a split between me and other ER doctors. So one, yes, because you want to see it and you want to see everyone's talking about it. The other part of it is it's kind of heavy to come off of work and try to watch.
You're like, I just saw that. I just saw a guy impaled on a stick.
So you need I basically just waited till I didn't have work for a little while and then binge watched it. So
I thought it was awesome.
I was a big ER fan back in the day. So up until a certain, I didn't watch the whole series to the end, but through
that was
spoiler alert, Dr. Green's death.
Yeah, Dr. Green's death.
I remember that they playing the Over the Rainbow. Yeah, but that was before the days when you were an ER doctor, right? Was that before?
Yeah. I didn't think that that's what I was going to do at all. No, that was back for me in high school when I was watching that.
Wow. Do you think that you're watching George Clooney?
Yeah, George Clooney did it.
I got to be an ER doctor.
Noah Wiley.
It's Noah Wiley.
Noah Wiley, yeah, he's the newer version.
He's the crossover. He was in the original ER, and now he's in the Pitt. I don't know. Maybe I was incepted back then. It was really funny because actually I joined. It was called the Public Health Club in high school, and we did no public health at all. We just sat at lunchtime and watched ER, and that's kind of what
somebody had to put it on the resume, I guess, as the president of the Public Health Club.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, I went on to get a degree in public health, and instead of actually learning anything about it in high school, I didn't really come around to it until after college. And then lo and behold, I became an ER doctor. So maybe there was something in that.
So what is the origin story though? So maybe it wasn't that club. Yeah.
I think so why I got into medicine or ER specifically?
Yeah. Both, I guess.
Yeah. How'd you get into medicine, and then how did you get steered into the crazy emergency room?
Yeah, so I'll answer it just because we were talking about the Pitt. I'll answer the ER question first. There's actually, I think, a quote in it where one of the residents is like, "Why do we even do this?" And the other resident goes, "Because we all have ADHD and we couldn't do anything else." Something to that effect. So that probably is why
do you have
I ended up in ER. Definitely, yeah.
So it's just got to jump to one thing. Everything's new and different.
Yeah, it forces you to work. I would not be good at working from home. I would not stay on task at all. So I need things to be happening for me to, act. And that's part of why I went into medicine, because I was not pre-med by any means going into college or anything. I don't know, Hansel, my parents, they are not they're older, so we're the opposite of helicopter parents. They were not on top of us at all. We're both kind of more in the arts, and
wow, that's totally opposite.
Somehow they ended up. Were they not like that with you?
Yeah, I mean, don't they always want a doctor or?
But I was going to
like,
say though, your parents do seem very chill. But then look how you and your sister turned out. I mean,
I know
it's like
they
maybe.
ended up with a doctor and a lawyer. I don't know
Oh
how
my
that
God,
happened.
that's pretty hardcore. Somehow Asian is.
They were playing four-dimensional chess.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think
because
they
they
did the
were
whole reverse
so
psychology on you
opposite.
guys.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like they go, "It's working, it's working." We say, "Don't do that," and then you guys are like, "I'm gonna do it to prove you wrong."
So then how
Maybe
did you
because
end up? Yeah.
yeah, so I was a science major in college just because I thought honestly I had like I was all over the place and I'm a very indecisive person. So I was like, well, if I can like learn the humanities on my own, I can read. But if I don't take science classes, I won't learn anything. So I ended up in science classes and like majored in microbiome and molecular genetics with a bunch of pre-meds. And I thought I never want to apply to med school because they're all gunners and I'm very kind of type B and not not at all that way and don't want to compete with
Right.
people. But then I ended up after a year after college, I spent in China, just like putzing about, teaching English, learning Chinese,
Oh,
Oh,
so
quote.
cool.
That's in
was
quotes.
that
That's in quotes.
teaching Chinese?
Teaching
We're gonna
Chinese,
test you.
yeah.
We're gonna test you on Chinese
Teaching
later.
English and
Oh,
learning
teaching
Chinese,
English to the Chinese kids. Okay.
and learn. Well, mostly I was supposedly learning Chinese, but
Mm.
But you were
So
teaching
it's
them English.
essentially
Yeah.
a gap year after college, essentially, just
I
hang
had
out.
finished. Well, I finished college. Well, I didn't quite finish because I picked up an extra minor in global studies, and I had wanted to study abroad, and I hadn't gotten to it. So I went to China to finish that part, and then
Mm.
it was 2008, and there were no jobs in America, and China was really fun at the time. So
Yeah.
I like
There you
went to
go.
the Beijing Olympics, moved to Shanghai, stuck around,
Well,
and it was
awesome.
Cool.
found out it's pretty cheap to just like sign up for classes as a non-international or as a non like affiliated with American University student. So I was there trying to figure out what to do. After that, I like applied because I had worked in labs. I applied for and got a post-bac laboratory fellowship at the CDC, and so I was working in the parasitology department or like global health parasitology department where I got to like do fun like trips to Suriname and Kenya and work in labs
So
there and
so
stuff. And
this
so
is
I got
CDC.
into
So you were in China,
in
but you got
Atlanta. I was
in
in
Atlanta. Yeah.
China, and then after China, I was like, I need a real job. And
And so you
I
had
like worked
applied to
in some
CDC.
labs in yeah. So I'd worked in some labs in college, and then I applied to CDC because I thought that'd be interesting. And I got this like they call it a emerging infectious diseases fellowship, but it is
Wow.
Yeah.
I ended up working with neglected tropical diseases that like with schistosomiasis, which was one of the oldest like parasitic diseases known.
That seems
Whoa.
So it wasn't
crazy.
emerging.
So from people
Um,
outside of that realm, like, I remember when I first heard that story, I was like, that seems like right out of the movies. Like you're gonna go and like find the monkey that has the virus or whatever, and everybody's got
Yeah.
Ebola.
Oh, it
Is
was
it
a
like
lot less
that?
glamorous than that. It was a lot less glamorous than that. I was mostly doing like testing diagnostic studies and doing like so for example, when I went to Kenya, the main study that I was working on, we were working on like a blood test, point of care test for like parasitic diseases to test how well they work, and then whether or not implementing treatment programs is helpful for certain
Mm.
communities. And then I was also
Hmm.
teaching laboratory skills to the people over there because
So you didn't
there's
have to
like a
shoot any
sister
monkeys
lab,
Is
the
in the
Kenya
is
lab.
Medical.
is
No,
the
it was
thing that I've
mostly
heard about and probably seen on TikToks, is that like that flesh eating thing? Is that a parasitic like the classic, or is that just like not even real? I mean,
that's bacteria.
I
oh,
think
that's
it's
the whole
real.
That's
bacteria.
bacteria.
Yeah, right. And they can
That's
just
real.
like it's totally
They just
real,
haven't made a
right?
movie about it. That's why you don't think it's real, Wayne.
Yeah. Well, I
um,
mean, yeah, it's because it's so
but
crazy, right? Like those kind of
I wasn't doing like Ebola or any of those things
we
that they
were.
make movies out of. I was more dealing with poop, like part of the gold standard of like diagnostics for the disease that I was working with was literally looking at poop.
And just
So,
like
Wow,
the parasites
like you
on
just
it.
you look
that
for yeah
sounds
But
nasty.
at
exactly.
least you're getting paid to look at
So
poop, I suppose. There you go. So that
uh,
was a bright side to it.
kind of it
Yeah.
was like a yeah. I mean it was they pay for your travel and for your lodging and all
Yeah.
that when you
Is
go
that
out
the
there
low
and
man on
yeah it
the
was
totem
fun.
pole entry is kind of like,
The
okay,
poop
you deal
level.
with the poop. And then you give me your findings. And then if I was like your superior, I'd be like, okay, well, now I'll just
Well,
take
I
it.
We'll graduate
thankfully,
too.
I thankfully was only doing a little bit of poop stuff. There were other people there who were more expert at the poop stuff, and I was doing more of the molecular tests. So we were comparing how well the
Ah,
molecular
so you were
tests
already
work in
kind of
comparison.
a level up.
No, I was
No,
low on the general.
still pretty low.
But that got me really interested in like global health and that kind of. I mean, I think I've always kind of been
Yeah, the
interested
CDC,
in
global
global
health.
health type of stuff. So then after that, I ended up. Where did I go after that? I ended up doing a master's in global health in Sweden, and then went back to Kenya to do my master's thesis research. And then while doing that, I think I realize that bench research and or just even public health research, like research in general, I do not have the patience, and I am uh, again the ADHD. like I
So
need.
so none of that is related to ER. Like that's like a separate sort of line of education.
Yeah. I was
Wow.
I felt like after the work that I was doing at the CDC, I was like, oh, I need more background in it, and so I ended up doing a master's. And then doing like the master's in the work that I was doing there, I was like, I worked with a bunch of doctors, and I was like, oh, they get a lot more. Like I needed more direct human interaction and also instant gratification of seeing like, oh, okay, here's a like person that like because a lot of people would come like when you're doing field work, they would come for medical care as well. And we would have like an actual doctor with us sometimes, and you could see like, oh, like the small interaction, they have the expertise, they know they can actually like just help someone on the fly. Whereas I was like, what am I doing over here? Just like spending hours in the lab, and then eventually maybe you come out with some papers, and eventually like the potential for impact with public health work is much greater, but it's such delayed gratification in
Mm,
comparison.
yeah.
And I just didn't have the patience for that. But I did end up before, like as I'm applying to medical school, I did end up like spending a lot more time. Like I that's when I went to Zambia for the year, and I was working
Wow.
on some like
So
epidemiology
so
and
you
those kinds
applied
of
pretty
studies.
late. So you applied
Yeah,
pretty late
yeah,
as so how old
yeah.
were you when you applied for med school?
27, I think.
27.
Oh,
And
okay.
do
26,
most people do it right
27.
out of school? Most people do it like at
So it's
21 or 2.
becoming traditionally, yes. So a lot of my classmates were straight through or maybe took 1 or 2 years. It's becoming more and more common to take more time. And I think there is more of a recognition in medical schools that their other experiences are important. Like they've
Mm.
changed some things about the MCAT and the admissions
Hmm.
process is that encourage
Hmm.
people that have backgrounds in other fields to apply. That said,
Oh.
it's kind of still difficult to
So
do.
it's
It's
like normal
obviously
college
much
now. You got to
easier.
have like extracurricular activities and
Well,
stuff like that.
Yeah,
you've always
exactly.
had to have
President of the this
have
club, the health
extracurricular
club.
activities. Yeah, that's always helped. But it's not just purely science anymore, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
So 27 is when you went into medical school. And so somewhere
yeah.
along the line you decided you also want to do emergency. So when did you actually how long does it take to actually come out to be able to do emergency?
So when you're typically in your third year of medical school, you choose a specialty.
Okay.
Emergency is a little different because not every medical school requires that you do an emergency medicine rotation.
Hmm.
And in my med school, it was actually quite difficult to get the rotation early. So if you know that you want to do emergency medicine, you basically have to like declare that and get into emergency medicine rotations early because you
Hmm.
have to get if you're applying into residency in that field, you have to get X number of rotations in that field, and then you have to get
Hmm.
X number of letters in that field. You have to do away rotations at another institute, like an outside institution as well. So like the
Yeah.
people that know that they want to do it get in early. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I came from this public health background where I thought idealistically like, oh, I like we are short primary care doctors, I'm going to go into family medicine, and then I did family
Yeah,
medicine. I was
that'd
like,
be
this
much
is great, but
calmer, I think.
Yeah, that's
I
like the
have
opposite.
I do not have the patience. I
So it's back to
truly
the
do not have the
ADHD.
patience for it. Like
Really,
bless
even just like the
them.
family doctor, I don't know, the kid,
You're
they
like
usually bring the
kids
kids
are
You know,
too
in, and you're
it,
boring.
just like, this is boring
I
ass.
actually, I did. I
Like,
actually thought I do like kids a lot. I actually thought about applying to peds. I did a ton of pediatric rotations. I actually
right?
was all set to apply. I ended up still applying to peds because I was all set to do that because I hadn't done a rotation in ER. But I happened to do like a neurology rotation kind of near the end of my third year, and like one of my friends was watching me and commented, and one of the residents I was working with, they were like, "Yeah, you seem really bored other than when we go to the ER for a stroke alert.
Stroke alert.
Basically,
Yeah.
so
that's
so
what
you get
what you-
called, you hold the pager.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's what it's called. So the neurology gets called to the ER when there's a stroke alert and
What?
to go evaluate
And
the
you're
patient
like,
for
yeah,
stroke.
stroke.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, yeah, something exciting, because neurology is so cerebral. They're really thoughtful.
Wow.
Like, as you would expect, they're just like so detail oriented. You have to take care of every single part. You're thinking about what could this be? And I was just so bored.
Wow. So you like the
Yeah,
chaos of it then. So that's what kind of drew you to it.
yeah.
Wow.
So yeah. So I
So
ended up
so
applying actually, late,
is
but
it
and yeah.
is it like the Pit? So we were talking about the Pit earlier, right? And so it's like on what is it, HBO, I think it is, and they show
Yeah.
some interns coming in, and it just
Yeah.
seems like I don't know, like in the Pit, it's 24 hours of just insane madness. Everything
Yeah.
something happens every 10 minutes.
So
Is it anything like
yeah.
that?
And interns are like no sleep
Yeah.
and just 24-hour work constantly.
Yeah, talk about how
Yeah,
It's
that
like
differs
I
in real
dangerous.
life.
Yeah.
it is dangerous. Yeah, it is. So I was talking to other friends who work in the ER, both, doctors and nurses, and I think we all agreed, like, if all of that happened to us and see the
Oh,
craziness, and it is like the waiting room, the way they portray it, and the busyness, and the boarders, like patients not being able to get beds upstairs, and the administrators coming down being like, you need to get your we call it press gate, or it's like the patient satisfaction scores up, and you're like, this is all those things are real, but the actual like number of crazy things that happen within that one shift for this show
that
is
makes sense. That makes sense.
that's a
So
little
it happens,
out,
but not all at once.
Yeah, but not
Yes,
like all in a
exactly.
half hour. There's like,
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. The
but
thing
you
But
that I
do see
do
everything's
it
think is
all.
realistic. That's
really
cool.
real. Oh, and
Yeah.
I do think this is the closest to, because I was talking to you guys before. I watched DR
Yeah.
all the way through, or not all the way through, but like growing up, and I think that maybe was how it used to be, but the Pit really has updated it to how it feels now.
Wow.
It
I
feels
think it's the
crazy.
Somewhat
closest
realistic.
medical show that I have
Wow.
seen.
Really? Okay,
Wow.
so now
That
you
makes
have
me
to tell
want
us
to see
about
it now.
now you got to tell us about some of your stories. Like which real stories, you don't have to name the patient, of course.
Yeah, please
But
don't, obviously.
yeah, please
But
don't. Tell
That would
tell us
be
some of the
not,
crazy stories.
that would
And
be frowned upon and
Yeah,
illegal.
frowned upon.
But
Frowned
Yeah.
upon,
again,
that's a word
like
for it.
I mean, I've heard all these myths and stuff. Like people come in and there's like a Coke bottle up somebody's ass or something. I mean, like, is that
That's
real
what you
or
go
is that
to,
a
Wayne.
myth?
It's a
Is
good
that
sexual
even possible? Yeah. What's a good, just
Oh
crazy?
yeah,
one.
it's more than possible. It is most definitely possible.
So humans do that,
Possible.
and they end up in the emergency
Yes,
room.
humans do
I mean,
that,
have
not
they ended up in your
infrequently.
emergency room? You've actually, I mean, that's crazier than a stroke alert, right? I mean, that's like,
So
what's going
pick,
on
It's
here?
less
pick some of
common. It is less
Yeah.
some of your
common.
favorite
Yeah.
stories. Pick some of your, I'm sure everybody asked you, like, what are your
So
favorite ER
everyone
stories?
does have a foreign body story. My favorite foreign. Do you guys want to see pictures? I know this is a podcast and an audio medium.
Okay,
Oh, yeah,
describe
we'll
the
try to
pictures.
describe it. We'll
So I'm
describe
gonna.
it.
Well, no, I mean, I'll tell the story. I want you guys to guess what this picture
Guess
was.
what was
Actually.
stuck where?
So,
Everyone again,
as I
guess
look
what was
as I look
stuck
for the
where?
picture, I'll set it up.
Okay.
I mean, so I work in
Anyway.
urban ERs. Like I've always only worked in very urban ERs. So you do see your fair share of patients who are intoxicated or have substance use
Yeah,
disorder
I see
or
that.
homeless or all of that. So this gentleman came in a little bit out of it, kind of ornery. The chief complaint when you sign into the ER, you have to say what you're there for. Was either like back pain or buttock pain, something not very descriptive.
All right.
Okay.
So he he was, eventually, not right away, because we take in triage, they take your vital signs and all of that. His vital signs initially were totally normal.
Right. So
He
then
was
he
kind
has
of
to
curled
wait,
up.
right?
Yeah, so he waited for quite a while to come into a room. Eventually, he got into a room and he started yelling at the nurses about needing pain medicine. And we were like, "Well, they have to. I have to see the patient for." Like, they're like, "Okay, the doctor has to come see you in order to order medicines." That was a busy shift. People were sick, so I'm kind of all over the place. I get to him and he's just yelling he needs pain medicine, and I'm like, "Well, I need to know what you're what is the cause of your pain? Let's figure it out. Let's there's a lot of other questions that I need answered in order to help you." So he really wasn't about it and started basically cursing at all of us and threatening to all of us, and then saying, "Okay, well, I'm just going to walk out," which is not honestly uncommon for us. And so we do. if you've watched the Pitt, there is like, obviously they highlight some of this, which is real, like distinguishing between someone who is pain seeking versus having a real problem can be,
Right.
difficult, and it takes some experience to figure that out, and you can always be wrong. And so, you try your best to give benefit of the doubt, but when someone's screaming, cursing at you and threatening
Yeah.
staff, then you kind of have to be like, okay, well, you can decide to leave against medical advice, and you start to have that conversation with them. And then
Wow.
we realized like he's kind of limping. He like can't walk out. He physically cannot walk out.
Dang.
And I'm like, I don't know how you walked in here, but he's like not capable of walking out at this point. So then I talk him down somehow and able to get more story out of him, started examining him. He's feeling like quite hot to touch, and we repeat his temperature. Now he has a fever. And now his heart rate's all high, and we're like, okay, what's going on? So we establish IV, all this stuff. We get labs going. I finally get him to allow me to undress him. He has basically an abscess, like a large wound in his buttock, right? So that you can have wounds in your buttock for many, many reasons. People who tend to not be that mobile, you can get ulcers, or there's a million reasons. If you use IV drugs, you're at risk for abscesses, things like that. So honestly, initially, I thought it was maybe an abscess because it was so close to the rectum. I was like, okay, we're going to do
bad
a CAT
hemorrhoid,
and see what's going on. Like occasionally, you do have to do a rectal exam as well. I can't remember if I probably did do one on him just to make sure. But sometimes you have to be careful though, because if it is a foreign body, which I was not thinking in this case was a foreign body, there can be sharp things in there.
Sharp things. Oh my God.
That's so scary.
Like you just don't know. But like he wasn't telling anything. Eventually he was like, oh yeah, I fell on something. And that's how I got this wound. He goes, I fell on something. I don't know how. This is how I got this wound on my butt. So we do the CAT scan. And I'm busy, so I haven't even looked at it yet. And I get a call from the radiologist. And the radiologist, is reading these images overnight, and she's like, "It looks like the hardware and the catheters that you have placed might have migrated." And I was like, "What are you talking about? We have placed no equipment in this man. We have what are you talking about?"
Migrated.
And I'm like, what? And she's like, well, then what is that in his body? And I was like, so I pull up the images, and I will show you guys. Hold on, because I found it here.
Wait, you describe it.
But you guys can feel free to describe it. Okay. Yeah. But so see how big it is? Or can you?
It's giant.
It's hard to tell. Yeah.
That's his spine.
So,
it's like a spear.
So this is the spine, and that's the foreign body.
Holy cow.
That is so
long. So you
long.
can see that. Yeah. So here's the video. If you can see that, what would your guess be?
Like an arrow. I mean, seriously.
What? It's like super long and narrow. So it's not a needle. I'm assuming. Is it a needle? No.
So
what else?
We also couldn't figure out what it was.
Yeah, it's not a Coke bottle. So
it's not a Coke bottle.
The stories that I've heard are like Coke bottles and things like that. So
I called general surgery, and they looked at the image, and they're like, "What the F is this?"
Yeah, exactly.
They also couldn't figure it out. So we don't actually know what it was, right? I get a note from the PA the next, I think either the day after or whenever she was next on shift, and it's literally a little sticky note and from surgery. The foreign body was a screwdriver. So what had happened? Yeah, and so what had happened was the reason it wasn't coming out of his actual anus was because it had gone in blunt end first.
Yeah.
So blunt end towards
like a harpoon.
and then the sharp end had started to make its way out, but not back out the existing hole, but had created its own hole, which we call a fistula, through the rectum or intestine, out the skin.
It kind of was doing like a fish hook kind of a thing, right? The fish hook goes in.
And because it had been there for who knows how long, it had started to form an infection around it, which then made him quite sick.
Sure. Oh
my God. So I can see why, that family practicing would be quite boring compared to anything like that.
If you're into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if that keeps your ADD going and that keeps you excited, then, more power to you.
No, it was more like, if anything, I think for what that kind of encounter takes is really, you have to have a lot of patience with people because they won't come and tell you what they have, especially if they have other stuff going on. And,
because they're embarrassed.
And that and like distinguishing between, okay, is this just somebody that has a drug dependency problem and is looking for opioid medications without a need, or are they actually sick and need something? Because like clearly that hurts, and reasonably so. He was asking for pain medicines. He was just angry about it. So,
that's crazy. Yeah. What a crazy life and job that you have, though. Well. So all right. So that wraps up this first part of this podcast. But the way we'll wrap it up is we'll ask you this question about what you have done in your life that's different than what other people has done. But you can't say emergency medicine because you already gave us.
Yeah, you cannot say dealt with somebody that had a screwdriver up their ass.
Dealt with somebody's butt. You can't say ask somebody to drop their pants.
I guess we also talked a little bit about, I have lived kind of all over the world. Like before medical school, I think I lived on a different continent every year for a few years there. So there's that. That's one of the as a icebreaker game. I think one of the things is like interesting things you've done or been on, and I once was on Tahitian television.
Tahitian television,
most
like
people
in Tahiti?
Yeah.
That's safe to say. Nobody else I know has been on Tahitian. Do they even have TV over there? Like, what is it? I just see a bunch of islands.
Like one channel?
It's French Polynesia as a like alternative career choice that maybe I should have taken because their lifestyle seems so much better than mine now. But I did some marine biology in college, and I did a marine biology quarter in French Polynesia. And they just needed somebody that kind of understood French in order to interview about our like projects that we were doing at the lab there.
Nice.
And so they interviewed me, spoke to me in French, and then I spoke in English, and then it aired both dubbed and subtitled.
Oh, how cool!
That's pretty cool.
French
Polynesia. So that's where like Bora Bora and Moorea and Papeete.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's where I went for my
Moorea. All right.
I love Moorea.
Whoa, Wayne gonged you. All right, so
that's the time of the
we're
gong.
moving on.
Sorry, too much. I was talking too much. I need the gong to tell me when to stop.
No, we are just trying to move on to the horror section.
To our horror section. So we're going to ask you a couple of random Asian questions to see how well you know your Asian trivia. Maybe you'll learn something as we go. All right, so the first question, actually, my brother gave me this one. This is pretty interesting. Wayne, you can guess along. Okay, so this is almost, you can figure this one out almost, okay? What is the U.S. state with the most Asians? You can actually figure it out.
Wait, by population or by like percentage of the population?
Wow, that is very scientific mind. I will say percentage of the population.
Oh, percentage of the population.
Because that changes things. Because
different.
California would be total population, I would say.
That's what I would say.
Density, like percentage.
I did not think that deeply.
Percentage is very different, right? It could just be one of those small states and have a high percentage.
This is hard, actually. Okay, I'm going to think out loud.
It'll be pretty obvious if you think of the state. That's the big clue.
Really?
Hawaii.
Like, it's not going to be the Southeast.
Hawaii!
Oh, genius.
So obvious,
I kept thinking mainland. I was not even
like New York.
And I was like wiping out the Southeast, right? I'm just like that in the Midwest, wiping out. But then you keep going.
There's a surprisingly large population of like Vietnamese in the South, and there's Asians all over this country. It's very
not quite like Hawaii though, apparently.
But Hawaii, that's a good one. Way to go.
Good call. Okay.
A little late there, but it's because I was in awe that it was such a great answer. Way to come through.
Okay. Question number 2. I know you're a pretty adventurous eater, right? Don't you like you'll try?
Well, you travel like crazy.
I will. I eat almost everything or anything.
This should hopefully be easy. What is the name of the spicy seasoning or seasoning style that originated from Sichuan and is popular with a lot of hot pot these days?
Mala.
Oh,
mala.
Hey.
Okay, here's the bonus question.
It's kind of cool. That numbs.
Here's the bonus question. What does mala mean in Chinese?
Oh, well, Wayne just said it. Numbing spice.
Nice.
Nice.
I guess
numbing and spicy.
I didn't know that. That's what it does.
Well, you did know that. You just didn't know you knew that.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. It comes in actually very handy in medicine because now that I'm working in California and San Francisco, that I have a lot of Chinese-speaking population, and you do occasionally have to ask people, are you having numbness? And then I realized because of foods, I know how to say a lot of medical things. For example, ma.
Awesome. That is, and as a side note, that's also what marijuana is, right? Daima in Cantonese or
Daima.
dama.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Big for the
That's
big
good to
num.
know.
Because that's what Hansel,
Big
he's
num.
going into Chinatown
that's-
looking for some of that, you know.
Yeah, daima. 英国有 daima. Okay, all right. Last question. Okay, a real estate question. So we all know Asia has very expensive real estate. Which city has the cheapest real estate out of these three? Hong Kong, Shanghai, or Singapore?
What?
Dang,
The
those are-
cheapest.
The cheapest out of the three.
All three of those are.
Like, I'm gonna ask another technical question, like average
Please do.
or average or
We could go
range
either way.
lowest.
Either average or price per square
the
foot
same?
is very high in two of these, but one is actually quite lower than the other two, surprisingly.
So I think it's not Hong Kong.
Right.
I would
It's
guess
not Hong Kong.
Yeah, I would almost guess. I'm scared. I would guess Shanghai because Shanghai is so big that
Right.
it's
Oh,
got to include
Smart.
all the other parts, right?
Look at that scientific
Singapore is
mind.
so small.
that is
right?
correct.
Gotta be it.
Yes.
That is
Yeah,
correct.
because the other ones are so small, right? It's so
Yeah,
limited.
yeah.
Very
Like
concentrated.
Singapore, I mean, there's hardly any space. And Hong
Hilarious.
Kong,
Wow, look at you.
Sure.
So
very
engineering smart.
technical. Yeah. Can figure it out.
Yeah, I think Singapore and Hong Kong are the highest in, like Singapore is higher average and then Hong Kong is higher per square foot, but they're both super expensive.
Yeah.
But Shanghai is actually not
Yeah.
bad at all, surprisingly. So, Wayne, how
Surprising.
did our
Interesting.
Dr. Karen do today?
Well, let's see. I think she leveled up. She got in. She's into, the Chinese medical school.
She got into the Chinese medical school.
Yeah.
I feel like I
The
would
highest
not survive
level, the
Chinese
highest
medical
level.
school.
Yeah.
Barely
Highest level
survived
of
American medical school. I don't
Yeah.
think I would survive Chinese medical school.
Yeah, it's a different level.
Asian
Different
level. Asian
Yeah.
level.
All right, so
Level higher.
let's wrap up this podcast, Karen, by having you tell us your life tip for folks.
Number one tip: don't come to the ER or don't do anything that will get you into the ER.
That is
That'll be
true.
number one.
I
That's
love
a good
that.
one.
That's a great one.
But,
Stay away from the ER.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's also
I think,
very expensive. As Wayne,
It's
didn't you,
super.
Wayne?
Yeah, I
didn't
did
Wayne, you
have. I
just
got
get-
vertigo, and I mean, I was trying to avoid it like I always do, but then I started getting nauseous, and my wife forced
that's
me to
rough.
go, and now I'm broke.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
But
sorry.
talk about possible stroke. So somebody got a little adrenaline because they kept at my age and vertigo. They were like, "You may have had a stroke," and so I just kept getting tested for having a stroke. But thank God, no stroke at all.
To be fair, I know I just told people don't come, but a lot of wives bringing in their husbands is actually
Saves their
a
lives.
thing,
Yeah,
and
Yes.
that's how they're keeping you alive. So
I could see that.
That's true.
'Cause
A
in
lot of
case
guys
it
are
was,
probably like, I don't need it.
honestly.
Yeah.
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 So,
I mean, I did
Okay.
start vomiting.
So is that your life tip? That's actually a pretty good life tip.
That's a great tip, though. Try to stay healthy enough to stay
do we
away.
need more? Yeah.
But if you do need to go, I guess you do need to go.
And my other life tip being don't go to medical school. You can become a doctor somehow if you find a way to not do medical school in order to do that. That'd be ideal.
Just
So
do
be a
it the real
doctor, but
hands
don't
on.
go
Just
to
start.
Yeah,
Just start
yeah.
operating on people.
Just go to the ER and you'll hire
Yeah.
them to start
Yeah,
running the show.
There you go.
No.
All right, good
It's
advice
a-
all around. Well, Karen, thanks so much for your time today. This is a super interesting conversation. Kind of grossed me out a little bit.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's the best
sorry, that
combo.
was probably a little too much, maybe a little too graphic.
Well, the
for your listeners.
graphics-
Hopefully, everyone's still around.
The graphics were kind of scary, but the audience
It
is a
is-
little protected.
It
from
is
that.
cool to see what a doctor goes through, though, because I mean, you save lives. You save everybody's lives. Like Wayne and I don't do anything near that sort. And it's cool to see how a glimpse into it. So appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So that's it for today. Asians out.
Peace.
We are sponsored by none other than the Coder School, a company that teaches kids how to code with over 70 locations all around the country. So if you're interested in getting your kids to code, head online and check us out. Learn to code, change the world. Thanks for listening.